And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. Vlogcast comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. Is Vlogcast started as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect because Dalan, Joey, and I, we got too much to talk about and not nearly enough time to do it in 3 hours, so... And we kind of glutton for punishments that we are. So it's kind of the way that it is. Part of this is to follow through with the old adage, sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. I'm your main host. I'm known as Shujin Tribble all over the place. You can find me under that name, Shujin. And for that one screwball out there, yes, it is easy to find my information. Imagine that. Somebody that's been out in various fandoms for 15 years who really is too old to care. Oh, please. It's kind of an inside joke. Some people know about that. One of those people that knows about it is Dalan, just outside of Calgary over there, up left-hand corner of the North American continent. Hi!
Wow, and here I thought last night I had trouble with my shtick.
Yeah. Yeah, there's reasons. Kind of... I'll talk about that just briefly in a second. And from the Midwest of the U.S., Brigid, hi, how are you?
Hi. It was like 98 barbarian freedom units earlier.
Okay, that's funny you should say that. Because there was I forwarded a video on Facebook that's made the rounds, usually does this time of year. And it was the two guys who were out in their backyard. One guy's Canadian,
Oh, yeah.
and the other guy's American. He's just like, well, what do you guys have got to enjoy for being Canadian? And goes in, he runs down the whole list of stuff. One of the items is, the metric system. And one of my things was, I, for one, would love to have the metric system. And Sam Mulvey, love you, man. I don't say that lightly, trust me. Had gone ahead and said that he will pry Fahrenheit from his cold, dark, dead 32-degree Fahrenheit hands. And I countered that with, don't you mean about 17 degrees Celsius? Because that's actually room temperature, so if you're dead, I mean... wondering how many people actually got that, but it's a great video. I should find it on YouTube and link it. It's a great moment there. Anyway, I'm drinking the last of my wine from the bottle. I did not drink any today, but this is what's left of the bottle that had been opened. So, skull. I guess I don't know. So, of course, as everybody, thank you very much for being with us. And, of course, if you are live, you can always join us on the group chat, which is going on right now. Stephanie, good morning. So, yeah, it's just the three of us at the moment. So, let me explain about this, because Brigid knows nothing about this. Dalan kind of knows a little bit about this. So, apparently... somebody on Second Life decided that they were going to do their Uber script kiddie flex and threaten somebody else and say that, look, I found all this information about Shujin Tribble, and I found this picture of him and his kid, and see all this information I got about him. Well, you should be nice to me because I can use all these script kiddie flex moments so I can find information on you, and I'm not doxing him because, you're being nice to me so far, so you keep being nice to me, I won't dox him. So they brought the information over to me, and they're just like, is this a picture of you? And forwarded the picture over to me, and I'm just like, why don't you just drop the nice piece of it all and just tell me what the hell's going on? Because, I'm too old for this. Well, this person kind of did this and said that they would dox and the whole thing. And I'm just like, okay, wait a minute. This person found this picture that I have posted publicly on my Twitter feed that I talk about constantly, incessantly. That is under at Shujin Tribble. How many Shujin Tribbles are there out there on Twitter? I can tell you. How many tiny Tribbles are there out there? Well, actually, there's two of them. That's why my tiny Tribble had to get a different one than the other person's, which was annoying. Damn it. Anyway. And it's like, wait a minute. You're threatening somebody with information that was publicly available, is well known. I will admit that I'm kind of Dalan. You might kind of back me up on this one. I think it's safe to say that I may not be a popufur, as the expression goes, but it's safe to say that I'm a semi-public figure in the furry fandom. Wouldn't you say?
I'd say, in so much as some people in the fandom go, yeah, you definitely are a little more. You have a little more notoriety than many others, I would say.
Thank you. That makes me feel better. So, I basically told this person, look, tell them to eat shit and then send them over to me so that I can tell them personally to go ahead and eat shit too. Because flexing that you've got all my information, dude, trying to find my information is child's play if you know what the hell you're doing. Please. I mean, it's just, really?
You see, what I'm wondering is there a particular... Oh, okay, you know what, I'll come right out and say it. Have you been accused of wrongthink recently?
Recently? Hell no.
Have you posted anything that would be, triggering of the mob, or that could, possibly get you canceled, or maybe you have triggered somebody's fifi somewhere? I guess what I'm trying to figure out is that, okay, if this waste of space went through all this trouble, and I'm trying hard not to laugh at this point, to collect all your personal information and do what exactly?
Yeah.
See, that's just it. I mean, I think Joey would respect me on this one. If you're gonna pull out a gun, you better be ready to use it.
Yeah.
And you also better know damn well that the other guy either doesn't have a gun or doesn't feel like using it, because chances are it's going to blow up in your face.
Yeah. The most annoying thing that I might have posted was it earlier today? I think it was, or yesterday, whatever. There was a video that had gone around again on Twitter, and it was about why there seems to be a lot of fireworks in protest areas. The idea that the police have been seeding fireworks in different areas so that they could have an excuse to, go break up illegal fireworks use. Because, I mean, that wouldn't happen. And my thing about it was I had forwarded it also. And I have also seen the things that say, just because your timeline has gone back to something resembling normal doesn't mean the protests have stopped. So my answer to that whole thing was, this is not over. This is not even a pause. This is a juggernaut. Black Lives Matter. Defund the police. Hashtag. Stay safe, my sisters and brothers. I mean, those people that understand what juggernaut is, besides, the whole meme of it all, well, I mean, yeah, you could kind of go with that. But it's, you know, all the stuff that's been going on, it's not going to be stopping anytime soon. So, I'm sorry, I kind of got away from the question that you were asking. Did I do anything triggering to people? I sure as hell hope so. Because as far as I'm concerned, they can eat shit. Or go pound dirt, or whatever it is. I could use the other expression, but it's too early. I don't want to be dropping any F-bombs just yet. Not yet. I mean, we can do that in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks, because I screwed up the numbering. I put 319 originally. It's actually 8. I screwed up. I'm sorry. Whatever. I fixed it.
My point is, if someone's going to go out there and try to be a hero in that respect, I would think there has to be a reason. You know, like, okay, trying to prove you're cool by like, hey,
Script
look
kidding.
what I've got. I'm like, okay, and
Yeah.
what is the goal? What is your end game?
Uh-oh. Hold on one
Are
second.
you trying to?
I'm so sorry to butt in like this.
What's the
but
matter?
Do you actually understand like what the word like triggering means?
Yes. Yes, we do.
So why would you hope to do that?
Yep,
to
I sure
someone?
do.
Yeah, just actually have someone here who actually has.
Brigid saying yes. Yes, we do.
Yes, I absolutely do. I have PTSD.
Okay, for the folks that are listening to it after the fact, my little one popped over and he's concerned about using the expression triggering and triggered, and understandably so. But see, the problem of it is, what I'm making reference to is whoever this little script kiddie that thinks that the picture of us in the car from graduation is somehow some kind of privileged knowledge somehow. As far as I'm concerned, if I've gone ahead and I've made them squirm for some stupid reason, for whatever reason, after the fact, backwards from the fact, because they're trying to use us as like some kind of bargaining chip, yeah, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, they can just piddle away, and I'm using it in a very derogatory term towards a very specific individual.
Okay.
Trust me, I am much nicer in real life. In you know,
Well,
I was
I
going
know
to say I'm
that.
really nice and
Well,
much nicer.
I'll
in real
contest that one a little bit.
life. Now, okay, now wait a second. Okay, now just how far are we into? We're 10 minutes into. You know what? Fine. Fuck you. You know what? Fine. That's the way it's. You didn't hear. Don't tell your mom I said that. Anyway, yes, he's over here. So
Hi, Liam.
high school graduate right over here. And
That's me.
yes,
So,
they're saying hi.
Hi.
Anyway, I love
Leave
you.
now, sorry.
That's fine. I love you. Go the hell away. This is what I get. See, I say this now, and then when he goes off to school, you know, I'm gonna be like, listen. All right, whatever. We'll deal with that later.
Then I'll have to call you, and there'll be like a 20-second.
No, you can't. No, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to call me while I'm in the middle of a show.
Why not?
oh, jeez.
And now-
Here we go.
And now he's asking me why not. I don't know.
There's
You
going to
know
be
what?
the frequent call. Holy crap, the phone cast right there.
What? What?
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. I love you.
Love you.
Matane. This is what I need. Yeah, okay. So, to go along with that, by the way, there is the possibility that, all right, for those of you that have been following along, holy crap, the phone cast had an actual proper dry run this week. And it worked. It worked exactly the way that it was supposed to. I didn't get a phone call, but on the off chance that it did, you know, everything was working. We tested that out. But I was able to talk for an hour, almost an hour straight, all on my own, and kept a cohesive idea through the whole thing. So that's, let me tell you, if you think that ain't tough, you ain't tried. There's a show on BBC Radio, yes, called Just a Minute, and it's a game show with 4 contestants and the host. The idea is one of the contestants gets a topic. It could be a single word, could be a simple phrase, and the rules are you are supposed to talk about whatever the subject is for 1 minute without hesitation, deviation, or repetition. And if you think that is not challenging, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. It is delicious fun, and my wife and I used to love listening to it on NPR back in the day. And I can say it that way because, well, she was alive then, which made it much more entertaining to talk about the show as it was going on, as you can probably imagine. Give him a mic and let him join in. Funny enough, we thought about that once before, and he was not really up for it at the time. But he's always welcome to join us sometime if he wanted to. But it's a whole other issue for later.
Well, not trying to shift gears too much here, but we're still in the middle of opening the show. But did I find something? I found something we could talk about afterwards because you know how I've said before, once in a while you'll see a news article, and like myself, I go looking for the stupid stuff. I go looking for the WTF content.
Yeah, you do.
And sometimes it shows up on a covered silver platter being served to me by, a particular anthropomorphic animal who I really can't describe on this show at this point because we're not Power of 10. Anyways.
Later.
Okay.
Would this be a character as designed by Gideon, perhaps?
No, I don't exactly swing that way.
Never mind.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a particular Kieran you and I know with, just wearing a French maid outfit. If she's listening.
That's Holy Crap the Vlogcast, 1300 Elmwood Avenue, Buffalo, New York, 14222. Dial carefully and good luck.
Yeah, to my point, sometimes an article is served up as such, and I think I found one. But we'll get to that.
Okay. Well, with that being said, how about I just go ahead and get us actually properly rolling? And as an aside, by the way, we do not have a horrible scope this week because I lost track of days, and I forgot to do it. Oh well. So anyway, with 5 minutes on the clock, let me get us rolling over here. Your 5-minute freestyle starts right now. Carl, in this case, yeah, I know. Some people are thinking to themselves, okay, what is it about Carl? Well, it could be Carl Sagan, Carl Castle. Actually, the two of them have got something in common. They're both dead, which is kind of disappointing. Carl Castle was the announcer on Wait, Don't Tell Me on NPR, which was a lot of fun. And, of course, Carl Sagan, incredible science communicator. Wonderful personality. Gentleman. And quite literally lived underground in Ithaca because that's where it lived anyway, be that as it may. In this case, Carl is Carl Reiner. We lost him at the tender age of 98 years old, and what a jip. 98 years, that's it? Really? That's all we're allowed to have with this? The man was comedic genius. Seriously, if you look up the information on him, on his career on IMDb, the fact that he kept busy for literal decades was absolutely unfathomable to me. He's been an incredible influence on a lot of people. And one of the shows One of the most noteworthy shows was, of course, the Dick Van Dyke Show. He was the guy who started it. He was the one who was one of the primary writers and editors on it. He loved the hell out of that show. And it showed. It was, in a lot of ways, one of the first real meta shows, if you think about it. The whole point of it was the life story of what was happening with Dick Van Dyke, or Rob Petrie, his wife, eventually their kid, and Rob's job, which was as a TV comedy writer. That's what they were doing. Maury Amsterdam, Rosemarie, they were a great trio. It was amazing. And even to today, you look at this stuff, admittedly, black and white, old resolutions, but so much fun. It's hard to look at these shows and not be impressed with how much fun they were obviously having. It's great to watch. And Carl did something that was almost unheard of with that show at the time. He took them off the air when they were still at their peak. Yeah, it sounds weird, doesn't it? What, you want to have the run as long as possible. And he basically said, look, you know what? There's nothing else that we can do. There's nothing else to do. We've done it. We don't need to do anything more. Let's just go out now. On top. Just call it. And the rest of the guys were, they were unhappy that it was going to be coming to an end. But they still recognized that, you know what? You're right. What else are we going to do? We've done it. We're here. We've been on the top of the game for long enough. There's no reason to stay. Let's just give it over to somebody else. So they did. Carl had a great relationship with one of the other living legends, still living legends. And that's Mel Brooks. The two of them did amazing work together. They poked fun at the Nazis, the actual World War II SS Gestapo Nazis, 20 years after the war ended. Just 20 years. They got away with it. You want to know why? Because for them, the way to completely disarm all of that pain and suffering was to make it the butt of a joke. And they were able to do that in such a way that even today we can look at it and laugh. We're going to miss you, Carl. Thank you for almost 100 years of genius and levity. This is episode 318 on the docket, Your Honor. Happy birthday. And yeah, I have to move everybody's names around on the screen because we are now joined by Joseph over in Paris, France. Good morning, you made it.
Yeah, good morning. Sorry, I just woke up a few minutes ago.
No worries.
I was at a 4th of July picnic or barbecue last night.
Okay. I could see you doing a 1st of July, for Canada Day. I could see you doing one, in a week and a half or so for Bastille Day, but 4th of July? Really? That's like a thing?
Well, America, there's quite a few American expats here, so.
And let's face it, you don't really need an excuse to party. but having one helps.
Yeah, as then again, I mean, I had to think about it for a couple seconds. I suddenly realized, I mean, for the French to go ahead and enjoy, 4th of July.
Something that stuck it to the British. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's that. Yeah, I can see that. An opportunity to yell out, pluck you. There's a handful of people that actually understand that reference, and thank you. You're welcome. Anyway, so yeah, it's good to have you. Yeah. So like I put in the show notes, Canada Day was January 1st. Independence Day here in the United States is the 4th of July. And during this week, typically, from the 1st through, give or take, the 7th, roughly a week, it's usually the Friendship Festival. But, I had a couple friends of mine looking up to try to find out what fireworks displays are going on, municipal. And with all the lockdowns and whatnot, all the municipal firework displays are non-existent this year. So normally we would have driven, from where we are outside of Buffalo and literally circled the city of Buffalo, because you can actually go, okay, get this, go north on the 190, which brings you around the west side of Buffalo, along the water, so you can see. I could throw a rock and possibly hit the Canadian border. Maybe. I don't know.
Careful. That could be seen as an act of aggression, and you could be the victim of a Cobra chicken strike. Just saying.
Yeah, I know. But it would be right near the Peace Bridge, so, I don't know about that. Okay, so go up the west side on the 190, turn around and come to the, east, turn east on the 290, which then brings you around the east side of the city, and then go west on the 90, which then brings you around the bottom side, and then south from there to meet up with the point that you started at. So you go north, and then you go east, and then you go west, and you're right back where you started from, as far as the roadways are concerned. It's stupid. Welcome to Buffalo. But, yeah, normally speaking, we would have gone out, like I said. But, this year, it's just not going to be worth it. Although, I did use the little cheap-ass grill out here with a lot of charcoal, and I did a lot of work on meat. So that's something at least. Anyway, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I see on the news that somebody was awake partying last night, because it looks as though Kanye West is running for president.
Yeah.
He made a tweet at 2:38 a.m. July 5.
Yeah, just as I was coming into the office to get fired up here, my tablet chirped at me, gave me a tweet, a news notification that yes, Kanye West is looking to write himself on the ticket for the 2020 presidential election. Now, some states he's already too late to run under Republican, but there are some that would accept him to run as an independent.
Okay.
Did Ralph Nader teach you nothing?
Hold that thought 1 second. Ralph at least was running with an organized campaign. Not a good one by any stretch, but it was an organized campaign. Somehow I get the funny feeling that no, probably not. I don't expect Kanye's going to have a very
Well, it's going to do one of two things. Either it's going to be, no, it can't even be that. I was going to say it could be, fodder for Saturday Night Live, but no, it can't even be that because of, current climate. But he could pull quite a few votes from one of the two political parties that, actually do have a chance of winning. And could cause an upset in some places.
That's
again, I'm talking potential here.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
I guess wait and see how it turns out for
Yeah,
Joe.
I'm not throwing my tinfoil hat up or anything like that. My guess is the Kardashians are out of money. Yeezy's bank account isn't doing so hot, so he figured he'd do this to drum up a little more popularity. I'm wondering when his next album's going to drop. Maybe it'll be Yeezy 2020 or some crap like that.
Could be.
Define drop.
Yeah. It's
sorry.
right there.
I've seen this before. Most notably, Janet Jackson. We all remember the infamous wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
Which got her name back in the news because people chase the shiny. This is not just a furry thing or a fox thing, for that matter. Everybody chases the shiny object. Don't start.
Hey, don't ask me why I've got these beads over here. I don't even remember.
I ain't flashing you nothing. Anyways,
it's not like you would anyway. It's not you don't exactly have a camera on or nothing. Besides, for me, it's just.
Okay, look, I haven't shaved in a couple of days. Okay, I look terrible. Anyways, my point is, if I remember correctly, not long after that whole thing with the Super Bowl, Janet Jackson released an album. So there was a lot of people saying that, oh, okay, so she basically had the wardrobe malfunction to get her name back in the spotlight just in time for her album to be released so that it actually had a snowball's chance in hell of actually selling something because
notoriety.
Well, I don't remember anything off of it. So could Kanye be doing the same thing?
Nah, why would somebody do something like that? That would be wrong. Yeah, exactly. Remember me? The cynic of the group?
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, people have done less for a frickin' Klondike bar, okay?
Oh, God, I'd really like some ice cream right about now.
Well,
Tomorrow.
looking at the time of Kanye's post, yeah, well, you ever wake up the morning after a party and just wonder, holy shit, what the fuck did I do last night?
The only tattoo the only tattoo I own, I got done while I was sober. Thank you very much, and I have witnesses.
Okay.
So,
You and me both.
Well,
but I hear you on that one, Joseph.
yeah, I'm looking forward to Kanye's wake up this morning.
What's the old
But it's all over the fucking Facebook. It's everywhere.
Yeah. What's the Robin Williams thing? You have a couple of rum drinks. You're in the Navy, boy. Did you enjoy your rum drinks, smartass? Aye.
And this is why pewter mugs have got a glass bottom. Thank you very much. Anyway. Because I've completely, with everything going the way that it has, completely missed it. I didn't go looking up information about Riff Badawi this week. Sorry. It's been a little helter-skelter this week. As of the recording of tonight's show with no new news, it has now been 8 years, 18 days, since Rafe was unjustly incarcerated for thought crimes. Our hopes, our thoughts are still with you and your family. We are still waiting. So I got all that done. I'm doing good. So, the idea for tonight was kind of to talk a little bit about, the stuff that is still good for us. We know full well here in the U.S., a whole bunch of stuff has just gone to shit. We know that. We are painfully well aware of that. But there's still some good. We know full well that, not nearly the same level of derptitude has been going on the north side of the border, but we know full well there's been some stuff. But there's still a lot of great. And, for all the arguments and for all the protests that have been happening in France, France has still got a lot of really good to it, too. So, yeah, we're going to acknowledge the bad stuff. But I think it's probably worthwhile for us to kind of remember it ain't all bad. Not by a long shot. First off, the item that was brought to my attention last night, which was, and I only just thought about it right now, which was an article that I had forwarded along so that Dalan could take a look at it, which was the idea of somebody had done a revision, I guess is probably the best way of putting it, of the Canadian flag, instead of having just solid red, to include I'm trying to remember what the terminology was for it, because I can't look it up right now because I don't have the link.
I think it was it was an addition, or inside the red they would be willing to put, or that they wanted to put some indigenous iconography, and it had a meaning to it. Like it actually, it had a symbolic meaning to it.
For instance, in the maple leaf there was a whale, a killer whale, orca, I think is what it was.
I'm not sure.
I forget. But the sides, if I remember right, there was an actual translational meaning to it, which was something along the lines
what I was talking about.
Yeah, which was something along the lines of basically, I'm highly paraphrasing here for a second. Something along the lines of, we all stand stronger together, or something like that. I mean, completely missing it, but the overall meaning, to me, it was beautiful. It's great. And the idea that somebody would bring up such an idea in the first place, oh wow, I think that's just absolutely, I thought that was beautiful. And design-wise, it was pretty cool looking. Shoot, I'm gonna have to find that link now, aren't I?
Hold on, maybe.
Oh, that's right. I would have had it in the in the Discord.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay. I'll have to remember to put that into the show notes for later. It was gorgeous.
It's not a new design. It was designed by a guy by the name of oh boy, I'm going to butcher this, so I do apologize. But
with all the stuff that we've gone through on Friday night, try to talk through words.
Hey! This is my flag I'm talking about here, so I'm trying to be respectful.
That's fair. That's fair.
Molidzas Curtis Wilson. Apparently, it's not a new design, but in light of all the stuff that's been happening over the past, since March, really, the push has come, that maybe this should be looked at. And I like this. The flag doesn't necessarily replace the symbology of the one we're used to, but rather blends it with indigenous symbols. Okay, on either side, those symbols were salmon.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's they represent community, strength in numbers, and family. And the maple leaf in the middle is filled with an orca and a traditional split U-shaped designs. While it's often called Canadian Native flag, the art piece actually has an indigenous name which translates to standing together in support of each other.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I had the general idea feel. I just didn't have the right the right where it came from.
Yeah.
Still very cool.
Yeah, let me toss that into our chat here just so you've got it.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah. Just looking here.
Yeah, I put that over in the live chat too, so that folks can take a look at that at the same time. I'll make sure it's in the show notes later. Yeah, one of the reasons why I thought about it, and I was really impressed with it, is that Dalan, I know that you've railed against. You know what? I don't know if against is the right word for it. You've railed on the topic of each administration every year making apologies to the indigenous peoples.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's... Forgive me if I'm putting words into your mouth, and please correct me, that it's like, look, fine, apologies are done. Can we just finally move off from this topic? I mean,
the way I see it done is it's lip service to, like the name that comes up most for me is a gentleman by the name of Ovid Mercredi, who was he was the head of the First Nations political arm at the time. And he was the one to whom that prime ministers were expected to make the apology. You know, and it seemed to be a trend that every administration that would come in would have to make that same apology. And originally, now here's the interesting part. My original part was, okay, look, can we move on? I mean, how many more times do we have to apologize? But after listening to a few people and learning a little bit more and understanding why there's the apology. Like when Heretic Woman came out here, we went to a convention. And one of the things that they were talking about was education reform and the subject of what are they called? They were a school run largely by religious organizations, the Anglicans most notably.
parochial.
Where they would pull native children away from their land,
okay,
or from their reserves.
Okay, I know the kind of thing you're talking about. I just don't remember the word either.
Yeah, I want to say provincial schools, or I was going to say something else, but I can't remember the actual name of it off the top of my head. But needless to say, this was crap. What they did was cruel. It was terrible. From a religious aspect, they probably thought they were doing the right thing, but they were actually stripping people of their heritage.
And to be fair, stuff like this also happened with the native... I don't know what the right term for it would be, but the Native Americans by the United States of American people doing similar things also. So we are not clean on this angle either. So
and this is something I always find interesting is, a lot of Canadians look at what's going on down there right now. And, we hear about the racism. We hear about all of this and we go, well, it's a good thing we're not like that. And all the natives behind them are going, oh, really? So, yes, we do have, we've got our problems up here. And I think I honestly think the main reason a lot of Canadians look down their nose the way they do at organizations like Black Lives Matter and those go and say, well, we're not that kind of racist. It's because when you look at the exposure, like me personally, I can only go anecdotal here for myself. The two black people I knew growing up were both Filipino. They were literally the only two black people in the entire town that I grew up in. I might add, great families. I was friends with them right up until I graduated, and I actually ran into one of them a few years back. All smiles, hugs, everything was awesome. Anyway, what we had to deal with in my town were indigenous people, natives. We saw them at their worst. You know, they committed crimes against my family. They actually broke into my cabin and stole stuff. They were, and I'm just saying, this is what we saw. This is what we grew up, and this is what was impressed upon a young mind. And it's hard to shake that.
Yeah.
Like it's, and if that's what, you know, if people in other cities are dealing with, you know, black people doing the same thing when they were children, I can see how it's hard to shake that, because to this day, I still, I don't visibly tense, but it's like, you know, I just get that little sort of uncomfortable feeling when I'm dealing with people of native origin. It's not them, it's me though. I know that, I acknowledge it, and I'm trying my best to do better for it, because the person standing across from me is really just another human being, you know?
Yeah.
My long-winded way of saying, originally I said, can't we just move on? But now, learning everything I've learned, my thought is, can we do something past an apology and actually start working on making things a little better? You know,
Thank you. Believe it or not, believe it or not, what I was hoping to get to was exactly that piece. That maybe this kind of symbology, this kind of actual working togetherness socially would be a really great step in the right direction for, okay, we need to take more direction from you guys, because we kind of stepped in stuff really badly and we really shouldn't have, and now's the time for us to actually make right.
Well, you see, that's the thing. Like I hear a lot of people, and I've actually removed a bunch of other twit heads recently, you know, saying that this country's a mistake. If you speak English, you're a mistake. This is a mistake. We should never have come here. We should do this. Look, I hate to say this to anybody who's about to, you know, fly off the handle and go cancel culture on us. We're not going back.
No.
Okay? I was born here. To tell me to go home means I am home. Shujin, I imagine it's the same for you.
Well, for me, it's, you know, it's the old country, Brooklyn. So, you know, it's a little bit. I don't.
My point stands.
I really don't want to go back to Brooklyn.
Brigid, same thing with you, right? You were born here?
Yeah, I was born here.
Okay. So
I do have native ancestry on my mom's side. My grandmother was full-blooded Native American, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And actually, I'm still waiting on my ancestry stuff. I mailed that out a few weeks ago, and they've actually started processing it. Anyways, yes, I did the ancestry thing. Okay.
No, I'm.
Yeah, I have two, and I have some indigenous.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of smiling a little bit about it because.
But the other half was from England, and just as English as they could be. I mean, just as white.
but the thing is,
okay,
we here, Joseph being the exception because he was born here, but he moved over there. We don't have, you know, a European country that we can go back to and expect to be welcomed with open arms.
But if you think about it, those of us, like, you know, me, my dad's side came from the UK. I can trace them back to the 1500s.
Yeah.
I would have a better time being dumped off in the UK than if you took an African American person and dumped them off in Africa where they don't know the culture, they don't speak the language, and you know, so
I got
really
okay.
Fair comparison. I would be lucky. I would still be privileged.
Okay, how about this then?
Because I can speak English, you know.
Yeah.
Well, my
ancestry is Norwegian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak a word of it.
Yeah, so you would have a really hard time if you were to get dumped off in Norway
Exactly.
and just told to suck it up and go home.
Yeah. Same thing. Imagine, Shujin, if you ended up getting booted to Italy.
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
I still have, for what it's worth, I had 2 years of Spanish. 7th grade, 10th grade. Admittedly, it's a long time ago now, but I've still got a little bit that's kind of still in me. Yeah. And when my wife and I went to Japan, she had a little bit of Japanese that she learned. I learned a little bit from her, and her uncle didn't speak a great deal of English, but it turned out we could both sort of communicate together in Spanish halfway around the world. So that was a great drive back from Narita Airport, let me tell you.
Yeah, but my point is,
but yes, your point is well.
But that's not home, though.
No,
I mean,
no, it's not. Not by long shot.
Left.
And that's what I'm saying, is that we can yell and scream about what happened in the past.
Yeah.
But we can't change it.
No.
And sitting there commiserating about the past is not going to improve your situation, other than maybe give you a bit of a dopamine hit for, you understand, my brother. You might get that. But it's not going to move you forward. So the questions you got to ask is, it's not, what we should be saying is, and I can't believe I'm saying this, like, okay, look, we came, we saw, no, our ancestors came, they saw, they did what we did. We're here now. What can we do to make it better for all? And what we need to do is we need to sit down with people and say, okay, what sucks and what can we improve on? Now, it sounds easy, but we know it's not. No. We know it's not because there are political interests.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, there are ideological things. There are people out there right now that are basically cranking a batch in their shorts at all the chaos that's going on, because all they want to do is tear it all down, because what is out there is against their doctrine.
No, hold on.
You want to rip down Confederate statues? Fine. You start ripping down emancipators, people who fought for that particular cause. If those are going down, there's a problem, or there's something else going on.
Well, what I was going to go with is that I'm trying to figure out how to word this properly. At the risk of it sounding like I'm trying to make some kind of a jab at last month, which I'm not, there is also a certain level of pride involved. If there's one thing that we've learned over our combined years, is that you kick somebody in their pride puppy, they're going to have a real bad reaction. And somehow a lot of the stuff that's been going on, people are getting kicked in their pride puppy, but I don't know that it's not deserved. I hope that I'm actually getting that across correctly.
I know what you're saying. And I understand the anger with the anger behind a lot of what's been going on. But there have been instances where it seems no longer about the message, but rather about the mayhem. Where they're no longer trying to make a statement. They're just tearing stuff down because it feels good.
There's I don't know if the rest of you guys had seen it. Oh shoot, what the hell was his name? Last week tonight, John Oliver. Crap, I'm gonna have to find that one now. He did a piece relatively recently that had a whole bunch of stuff to do with all the protests and everything going on, and I promise you we're gonna be moving on from the heavy so we can actually get to the lighter stuff. Don't worry about it. We'll get there, promise. But he ended the piece with not himself talking it through, but leaving it to a video of somebody from one of these protest areas. And to sum it up, she basically said, there is a social contract that we all are supposed to work with. And you folks broke the contract with us. The people of color, African American, Latino, the minorities. You broke the contract. And you don't want to acknowledge it. You don't even want to acknowledge that there is even a problem. So as far as I'm concerned, we can just burn all this stuff down because you're the ones who broke this contract in trying and just decided killing us was okay. Now I'm going to have to find that in order to put it into the show notes and everything so that everybody can take a look at. But as much as I also don't want to see people being destructive like that, I have to say it this way. Considering some of the stuff that we've learned and the truths that we grew up with that have been tainted with the facts, to borrow from Golden Girls, the fact that there hasn't been an all-out war at this point, and I'm speaking from like the good old mafia days of wars, hasn't been happening yet. I am still actually surprised that hasn't happened yet. So, I don't know. There's a lot in all of that maybe we see about a different dive night for that, because there's a lot that's still kind of being digested on my part.
Well, and the thing about breaking the contract, it's still being broken.
Yes.
And that's the problem. Even now, even with, Trump's speech that he gave last night, his whole campaign at this point, what he's running on now is, to borrow the phrase, white power. That's exactly what he's running on. And he made it abundantly clear last night. So, as long as that contract is still being broken, they're still going to be pissed as hell. And they're, angry.
Yeah. There was also a graphic that was used that was brought to my attention. I can't do it on my computer. I can't do it on my main computer. But, hey, I can do it on my thingy over here. If I can just find it. Let me find the... Yeah, give me a couple of seconds. I'm posting this into our chat. Yep, there it is.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, a link I'm gonna post too. But
Yeah, I'm going to put this into the live chat also, because this was just. I know I said I was going to be moving on from the heavy stuff, but I'm sorry. This just. Oh. You know, the idea of this SOB using a design that is very clearly a direct ripoff of the Third Reich iconography.
I saw that.
I mean, you could make an argument that the iconography harkens back to the old heralds of the Roman Empire. That still is not a good combination right there. I still have a real hard time looking at this and thinking to myself, yeah, anybody that knows anything about design, especially historic iconography, has to look at this and go, point of order, Your Honor?
Well, that's not the only thing. If also on the store site, you're selling footballs for $88.
Baseballs.
No, footballs.
Didn't they have baseballs?
Or it
too?
might have been baseballs too. $88, and that 88 is definitely code. You know, to all these neo Nazis. It's blatant.
So
So when you have crap like that coming out, yeah, there's still going to be some anger. People are still going to be. And I don't blame them. I'm
Nope.
angry too.
So I did say that we were going to kind of move away from the heavy,
Okay, moving on.
but
Okay,
but
I got one.
but I want folks to understand we're not moving away from the heavy because we don't want to talk about it. Okay, we kind of don't. We don't want to have to. But it's more a matter of there's only so much that we can handle. And as I said a couple of weeks back, you know, I'm still having a really hard time with a lot of stuff and trying to find my balance. So, yeah. We'll deal with the pieces as we can. Well, Stephanie just pointed out, by the way, and yeah, I'll get to you there. The good news is that his, meaning Donald, his rallies are not getting the venues more than half full. Well, that's good, but we've got a small problem. Brigid, you of all people know full well. Even a stadium with 8,000 people who are refusing to wear masks, who are specifically crammed shoulder to shoulder for the images of the look how many people are hanging out behind me today, isn't this great, all these people. Yeah,
Killing people for photo ops is priceless.
yeah, last I heard, there are people and people and people and people, especially people of official capacity who have been at these events who are coming down sick, like Secret Service officials.
Kimberly
Or Herman Cain
Guilfoyle.
recently.
Well, Kimberly Guilfoyle too, Donald Jr.'s girlfriend. She got it from the rally. She was there, and that's where she caught it.
If anybody wants to brand me as a bad person for this, I will accept that. But I have really gotten to the point of the whole James Kirk Spock combination of Jim, they'll die. Let them die. I'm sorry.
Well,
but
I
there's
think Herman Cain ought to voluntarily give up his bed for another person since he went without a mask. And he knows better, or he should. And especially with the hospitals in Texas, being short on ICU beds and things like that, I think that he ought to give up his bed to another COVID patient who, did not catch it doing stupid stuff.
Is it Texas that's basically at capacity at this point?
They're past capacity, but yeah. They
Florida,
have started
too.
having to move some of the COVID patients to the children's hospital and things like that because they have no more beds.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Not, oh God.
Yep. And so I think if somebody, went out and did something stupid, that they ought to lose that bed to another person who needs it more. I mean, that won't happen to him. He's got enough money to pay for whatever it is that he needs, but if they don't have the bed space, then I think it ought to go to somebody else, like a child. Or a person has a heart attack or something else. That's cold to me, but that's the way that I feel. If there's a shortage, I mean, that's just the way that I feel.
I gotcha.
Because I read a couple of days ago that it was Arizona, Texas,
Florida.
Georgia, and there was another state where they have actually put out the protocols now, and given them to the hospitals, saying that you're going to score patients to be admitted, on this point system, and these people are the ones who are going to get the treatment.
Wasn't it? I know California saw a huge spike recently too.
Yeah, they did, but they're not. I don't think they got those protocols issued, but there were. And Texas was one of the states where those protocols did go out to where they're going to start having to ration care and do triage and say, well, if you're old or you have these conditions and we can't treat you, they're at that point.
I'm having a real hard time with this one. The idea of these patients going to a children's hospital because we don't know what the long-term implications are going to be if there is cross-contamination.
No, we
And
don't.
Forgive me, but I hate to say it this way, but the likelihood of cross-contamination in a hospital for something like this with children who are very likely immunocompromised for whatever ailments they've gotten. A children's hospital could be anything from broken bones to cancer. Yeah. I believe that the expression is the cross-contamination chances are 1. As in, it's going to happen. There's simply a matter of just when.
Well, we already know what some of the long-term complications are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shortage of dialysis nurses right now because a lot of these people are going into renal failure and they're going to need to be on dialysis the rest of their life. And that's one effect that we know about.
And Stephanie saying, one of the people I follow on YouTube is in isolation because his wife went into hospital as she had heart problems. That got sorted, but she came home with COVID.
Speaking a little bit from experience here, hospitals are not quite as sterile as some people might think.
No.
In fact, when it comes to cross-contamination, it's very possible.
It's almost inevitable if you think of the idea of people go to a centralized location when they are sick. Well, everybody who is sick is in a centralized location.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
And you have single, you have semi-private rooms, so you have like at least 2 people in there at once, sometimes 3. The first room I was in had 6 people in it.
Yeah, but
You know,
even before you get to that, just you go to admitting, you go to
yeah.
triage, you go to ER.
Oh yeah, and triage is a wonderful
mean,
place.
It's like I said, everybody who is sick for whatever it is, unless you've got a broken bone, which is, forgive me, not usually communicable. I mean, outside of Brooklyn, somebody's gonna cross contaminate somebody else one way or another. It's just, again, a question of what and when.
Yeah. But so this year we've had COVID. We've had, well, I think the murder hornets were preempted.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
well, they moved up to Canada, in which case they just got hailed on. So it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I shot a video today. I was coming home from doing some errands, and
You didn't have another one of those hailstorms, did you?
no, but the clouds were okay. We did get a downpour. It was almost a Texas grade downpour in terms of how much water came down. It was cold, but thankfully no hail. But driving home, I got to this one traffic light, and I've taken a picture at that same intersection before. Yeah, this time the clouds were even darker. Like it was brutal. But like I said, thankfully this time there was no nothing solid, and particularly ice shaped fell from the sky this time. So as I was saying, we've had COVID, we've had wacky weather. We were supposed to have murder hornets, but COVID kind of overtook that. I ran across something just recently, and okay, we've made lots of jokes about Florida man, either in public or on the air or in other places. I may have found an explanation. I just love the look I'm getting.
Explanation of what?
Of why Florida man is Florida man. And
I've
this is from CNN.
I've got a my cousin Vinny moment going on right about now. I would love to hear this.
I think you would. This is from CNN. A rare case of brain-destroying amoeba has been confirmed in Florida.
Now, I saw this.
Oh, damn.
No. I saw the headline.
Yeah.
I didn't read through it because I've seen past situations of this. But if you would like to regale a couple of lines from it, that's fine, and then I will give you my rebuttal.
Anyway, so the Florida Department of Health on Friday announced the confirmed case of Naegleria fowleri, a microscopic single-cell amoeba that can infect and destroy the brain. It's usually fatal, the DOH said. I love that, usually fatal.
One would hope at that point.
Anyways, now, okay, here's kind of the cold dose of reality. Since 1962, there have only been 37 reported cases of the amoeba in Florida. This one was found in Hillsborough County, though the DOH did not give any further details. In the U.S., there have been 143 known infected cases of the amoeba, according to the Florida DOH, and only 4 have survived.
Ooh.
Yeah. But it just when I saw brain-destroying amoeba in Florida, I just thought, ooh, that explains a lot.
All of the Florida man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, the cases of Florida man is a little bit disproportional to the number of cases actually found of this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, man.
2020 just needs to go die in a fire already.
Hun, it has already been kicked into the fire, and it is dragging us by our belt loops
It needs
along with
to
it.
die. It just needs to die.
Great, now I got Tommy Lee Jones in my head. Why won't you just die? Worst Batman ever. God, that was so bad. I'm sorry. Moving on.
Bad, yes, but not the worst.
Dude.
No, the one that came after. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay. Okay.
Tommy Lee Jones was being Tommy Lee Jones.
No, you okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That, and in the one you're talking about, Tim Burton at least still had a finger in it at the time.
Yeah, the middle one, because everything else was taken away from him.
Yeah.
But, be that as it may. Okay. The reason why I was saying that hopefully it would be fatal at that point is the whole idea of the spongiform encephalitis, which is the technical term for the mad cow brain-eating disease. If this bacterium is eating brain cells, I really don't know how much I would necessarily want to survive from that, depending on how much was eaten out of my head. Don't get me wrong, there are some memories I could do without, but no, thank you. I do not want to live my life as a less grotesque Phineas Gage. There's a reference for folks. Wow, that's going back in the history books right there, isn't it? I need to make a reference into that, don't I? I don't know how to spell Phineas. Damn. You know what? It's close enough. I'll find it later on Wikipedia. He was the guy that was tamping down explosives with a rebar, and it exploded, and the rebar tried to reach orbital velocity through his cranium, and it didn't quite work. He literally was not the same man afterwards. So anyway, there's that. You can look that up later. On the good side.
Yeah.
On the good side of stuff. We've got people who are doing they're doing their best to help people get through and get by and be comforted. And I'm really gratified to see that happening once in a while. Little bits here and there, like when we had the graduation for Tiny Tribble, and they had they took the kids. We all got in our cars and we had a parade, literally down Main Street. And there was a side trip that was taken to one of the teachers to wave and honk because it was her birthday. She was at home, so everybody did that. But there was a couple of kids on one of the streets that we had to go past that, well, they set up a lemonade stand. Okay, I have never seen an honest to God kids lemonade stand. For 50 cents, got a drink of lemonade. So we stopped, and I gave the little one some money and said, "Here, go get a drink." What? Really? Yeah. You know what? Here's $1. Yeah, don't bother coming back with any change. Because I figure, what the hell. Now, like I said, admittedly, it's not a big deal. It's not a big thing. But sometimes it's the little things that, things you don't expect to see. make stuff good. You know, stuff like that.
It's interesting. Like I said on Friday, we're starting like our phased reopenings here. Although, really, to at least me personally, to look at some of the things. Okay, my current employment status aside, the stores I need to go to, they're all still open. I've been to a couple of smaller shops and they've been open. And kudos to them, which reminds me I actually have to go out to one of those tomorrow and pick some stuff up. But one of the big things that happened just starting last week was some of the gyms are opening back up. And I know this is a sore point, especially in New York after what happened with one particular gym, but that's another story. There was a gym that opened up despite lockdown, and I can't remember the circumstances behind it, but people were actually, as they were leaving, they were being arrested. It was called Atlas Gym. You can look it up. But anyways, that's another story entirely. What I found interesting about this reopening is that you have to book your time online. They have so many slots available, each for an hour, and you can only book for 1 hour at a time.
Which, let's be fair, at this point, I mean, come on, not too many of us can put up more than an hour of...
Yeah, believe me, I know, given what I went through yesterday. But when you go there, you check in with somebody outside of the facility. They check that your name is on the list, that you are there for that scheduled time. You go in, you buzz with your key card. They let you in, you change, you do your thing, and when there's 5 minutes left, someone actually walks around with a sign saying you've got 5 minutes left. So finish up what you're going to do, then get the hell out. It was really funny though. Today, one of the errands I had to run, I had to go answer a question for them. I actually had to go back to the gym today. And I noticed something. Now, customer service people, typically, they put on that phoned in look or tone. You know what I mean? Well, it's like, I'm being nice to you because I have to, because I've been dealing with your crap for the past 16 hours or whatever. All this isolation, being away from people, when I sat there having a conversation with these people and explaining the situation and getting it all resolved, I don't know what it was, but just that social interaction, I walked out of there feeling good. He's like, oh my God, I actually talked to somebody in real life, and it was friendly, and we had a conversation, and I felt, it felt really good, as if it was like a little piece of normality that came back. And then I walked outside and the heavens opened up and I got soaked on my way back to my car, but that's,
Well, that's a different story than what's going on here, unfortunately.
And well, down, again, not to stare down my nose or anything like that, but an awful lot of that, more freedom goes on down there.
Well, it does. And my husband had to go to the car dealership yesterday to get some new tires for the car. I mean, it had to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And the people there were wearing masks, and they were very passive aggressive and made it very clear that they were not happy to have to be wearing masks and things at the dealership. And they were very rude and just being assholes to everybody. And a lot of screaming matches going on back and forth, and it was just really stupid.
Well, I mean, given...
And no reason for it, and you would think that people would be happy to see some people, and, but no.
Yeah. But, Bridget, I saw something yesterday, and I think it's one of the biggest things that I've noticed. And it was on CNN, so take it how you will. But when Trump was announcing his rally at Rushmore, and the subtitle or whatever you call it said, masks optional, no social distancing required, blah, blah, blah. And right underneath it was Dr. Fauci talking, saying that you should still wear masks, you should still social distance, you should still be mindful of the fact that there's a disease out there that could frickin' kill you. So you've got one side of the administration saying, more freedom, forget the masks, whatever, lead by my example. And then you've got other people that are saying, no, the numbers are still spiking, we're still getting people. And then you have the same leader saying, well, the reason we have so many numbers is because we're testing so much.
I can't tell you how disgusted I've been at that particular item.
That was a facepalm moment, especially when he said afterwards, hey, if we reduce our testing, we'll reduce our numbers. And I thought, what weapons grade? Sense. What weapons grade moron got themselves into office?
I mean, you could cut down on the, teen pregnancy rate if you quit giving them pregnancy tests.
You still got to be pumping out a lot of kids, though.
Well, no test, no pregnancy, right?
Yeah, it's amazing how many.
How that works.
Yeah, the same thing happens also with, cop-based murder if you just don't have cameras to record it anymore. But that's a whole other thing. I'm sorry, I'm kind of stretching out. By the way, TP, hi. Good to have you over here. Had also said, drove by a YMCA a couple weeks ago. They were 8 feet apart, stretching.
Yep.
Great. Every little bit. It also said, as far as to the way that the dealership was dealing with you, I'd have left. Weeks ago when I had to have my car checked for inspection, everybody was great. Normal, okay. I have been going back to the Honda dealership itself. I know, but just bear with me a second. With the idea that I bought the car from them, I go back to make sure that everything they do is to put the car as close to factory original spec as possible. So there's no funking around, there's no nothing. Everything is the way that it should be so that it lasts as long as possible. Which, be that as it may, they've always been really great. But, like I said, weeks ago when I had to go in there, everybody was wearing masks. Everybody was very cool about it. And everybody was dealing as best they could and was very acknowledging of the situation of how everything was. It was very easy to see that everybody was very on eggshells is probably the best way to put it. Try to be very, very aware, very self-conscious of what everybody was doing. And you know what? I would much rather have that personally, because that makes perfect sense. Stephanie also pointed out cult leader behavior. Yeah.
Yep. That's the reason why Fauci's not, been doing any briefings or, he's been chained pretty much because his message is conflicting with the administration's message, and they can't have that.
Yeah.
So they've put a muzzle on him to keep him out of the view as much as possible.
Yeah. But he's still, from what I've understood, he's still kind of making sure that his message is there, because whenever anybody brings him up in front of a couple of cameras and asks him questions about stuff, it's just like,
oh yeah,
well, that's a great question, but you have a fundamental misunderstanding of everything, and it's got to do with this. And yeah. You remember the thing some while ago where Bill Nye was coming out of retirement, and he's going ahead and he's talking to his kids, and he's talking about how everything has just kind of gone to hell. is just like, yeah, the world's on fucking fire. And he actually lit a globe on fire in front of him. And everybody was just like, Bill Nye said fuck. Yeah, because you're an adult now, and he can pretty well talk to you like the adult that you are. And he's right. But, yeah, Dr. Fauci is, he's, you know, I think the best way I can put it is, I don't like passive-aggressive personalities. But for you, Doctor, you get a pass on that one. You're the exception to the rule.
Well, he's doing what he's got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And-
the point is that
I'm
there's
sorry, I
so many-
completely sidetracked you.
No, it's okay. No, it makes sense because there's so much mixed messaging going on out there, and between the media, between the government, between religious leaders, and everybody's got their own thoughts and opinions and all of this stuff, and their minds are already made up. And if someone in authority like Dr. Fauci says, no, that you're wrong, you're just a shill for the man, or you're just, you're in George Soros's payroll, or or my favorite, I'm covered in the blood of Jesus.
Oh, good fucking
Yeah,
Christ.
but stuff's starting to get real now with Mexico shutting down parts of their border to keep us out.
You know, somebody
Remember,
pointed out.
Right.
You can't even come north right now unless I think
No, you
it's
can't.
Somebody,
Unless it's essential travel, and that's
only essential travel.
Yep.
And
And
you can't.
Mexico's doing that now along their border states.
Yeah.
somebody pointed out. Americans currently cannot leave their country.
Free.
Can't go over the border. I was about to say can't go north over the border, but for me it's actually west. You know, look at a state map of New York. All right.
Geography.
Yeah, exactly. We can't go south because Mexico's basically said, yeah, you know what? Nah. The EU has basically said,
Stay home.
no. I was trying to find a better thing, but the only thing that was coming to mind for me was Mel Brooks' Silent Picture, and when they finally called Marcel Marceau, no. What did he say? I don't know. I don't speak French. Great movie. I need to find that goddamn movie. Shit. It's been one of those moments right about now. But I mean, where
Not welcome
could...
anywhere now.
Sorry?
We're not welcome anywhere now.
No. Japan has basically said, no. New Zealand would basically blow up the plane before it got to them from the U.S.
Yeah.
And rightly so, I would imagine. Take off a wingtip at least. Australia. All right. Well, no, wait. Australia might say, "Hey, you really want to chance it?"
Yeah, have we got some real estate for you?
Yeah, we
Probably
will.
still go to Australia, but I think they would insist on a 14-day quarantine when, as soon as you got there, at your expense.
Yeah, in the outback.
Yeah, we will issue you your we will state issue you your blue ringed octopus, and we'll see which one of you hashes it out first.
So you see what you do there is you go to the middle of the outback. So like I'm talking the dead center of the continent where there is no city
Nothing.
whatsoever. You put a landing strip there.
No,
No. Hold on.
no.
You build enough of a facility that a 747 could land there and take off again. Drop them all off and say, okay, this is your 14-day quarantine. You have 14 days to make it to Sydney. If you don't, oh well. If you do, you're welcome to stay.
No, and I'm up. See, you can't do that because out the middle of the country, yeah, you can't build out there because everything melts because it's hot as fuck. It is all just desert waste. All right, it's not exactly desert waste, but you get the idea. I mean, the rubber of the do they use rubber? Whatever it is that they use for the tires would melt into the pavement. Or assuming that I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
I'm looking for a point here.
Well, the plane couldn't land because the tires would melt. It would damage the aircraft.
You kick him out the door like
Give
E.B.
him a
White.
parachute.
Yeah, like E.B. White.
Here we go. All the used and discarded N95 masks. Sew them together and make parachutes.
No. There's better things to do with those. Give everybody a squirrel fursuit and have them learn how to survive a terminal velocity drop. Am I thinking of the right guy? E.B. White, is that the guy that parachuted out and nobody knows what happened to him? Am I thinking of the right guy?
I have no idea.
Shit. Now I don't know if it's the wine talking. Screw it. I don't know.
E.B. White was the person who wrote Charlotte's Web. But I could be confused. I don't know. I got nothing.
Charlotte's Web. No, you're right there.
Oh, I didn't remember.
I don't remember who the hell it was. You know what? Screw it. Figure out another time. I'm not really that interested in it. Whatever. Guy got a whole bunch of money from people, hijacked the airplane long enough to get everybody's money, opened up the door, parachuted out, nobody knows what happened to him, somewhere out in the Pacific Northwest. Whatever the hell the guy's name was, whatever. Don't know. He could be dead. We don't know. Whatever. I don't care. I thought it was E.B. White. I could be wrong. Whatever. It's not a piece of history that was really that truly relevant, so you know what? Screw it. I don't care. Whatever.
But still a cool story.
No, it is. Although there are a lot of question marks as to what happened to him, if he parachuted, if he's safe, if he's still alive somewhere. Did he end up getting impaled on the treetop and disintegrated eventually? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. D.B. Cooper. See, is that the right name? Wait a minute. D.B. Cooper. D.B. Cooper. Under hijack. There it is. There you go.
Good job.
TP. Thank you. Brain screw you. See, I at least remembered that it was two initials, and I just had the wrong name. I knew that there were a couple of periods involved, so I got that much. You know, I don't care. Whatever. It's close enough. Chubb, leave me alone.
And I remembered an author from a book that I read in 4th grade.
There you go.
But I can't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday, so go figure.
Wow, how ironic would it be if it was BLT?
It wasn't, I can promise you.
There's some people who are going to have it explained to them. Good luck there. Get ready to cry. Anyway.
Although BLT does sound pretty good right now.
Yeah, I'd pretty much like to have a BLT right about now. I had... Okay. A couple weeks back. The last time that we had gone out for, like, staple food shopping, which is all that we really end up doing at this point, which we got to do again tomorrow. You know, eggs, milk, cheese, pepper, you know, that kind of thing. They had not just regular packages of bacon, but they had basically the equivalent of, like, food service 3-pound plastic bags of sliced bacon.
Ah.
And we'd gotten that. And one of the things that I really wanted to do that I didn't do, I wanted to make a bacon weave. And I didn't. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because I was too fucking lazy.
Oh,
I could have, I should have.
My sister made bacon wrapped meatloaf once.
Okay.
It was interesting. It was
Okay.
interesting.
Okay.
She got the recipe on Facebook, and it looked really good there. But when it was finished, it was just kind of, let's just say there was some shrinkage involved.
yeah.
Okay.
Meatloaf does shrink. So does bacon.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
It was really nothing more after that than a salty football.
Aw.
I mean, it was delicious, make no mistake, but yeah, they really oversold it on the video.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, I'm actually kind of disappointed. Tiny Tribble does not like meatloaf. Don't know. And that's sad for me.
Depends how you
because
make it.
Well, nah, it doesn't like. I've made it myself. I have gotten pre-made meatloaf from Wegmans out here, which is great. The supermarket chain, relatively local supermarket chain now, based out of Rochester, Wegmans. Wow, they're great folks. They've been in like the top 10 best companies to work for the last, I forget how many years it's been. It's been like 20 years. You know, the idea of list of the best companies to work for, and they're consistently in the top 10. And when the 1 year where they ended up at like 11, and the word came out for whichever magazine it was, and the company basically said, no, that's not going to stand. And the next year they came back, they're back on the top 10 again, like way up, and it's like, yeah, we've got history here. It's great folks like that.
It's a competition.
It kind of is.
Gotta be top 10.
Well, I mean,
If they're not, then they have to do something to make it better.
well, yeah. Then again, you know, something like that, where we're a good company to work for.
Mhm. I mean, that's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. It's not something that you hear about very often anymore.
Hardly ever.
True that.
I mean, you hear good things about working for Costco, but not Walmart, not Target, not in most places.
The best job I ever had, and I've talked about this numerous times, best job I ever had was my very first job, working at a local pharmacy, because it was a locally owned group.
Makes a difference.
The two guys that were running it bought it from the two guys who had it before them, and they kept the name on the front. They just changed they just changed the behind the scenes name for the doing business as. And there is admittedly, it was also the 80s, so big difference in what you did, what you could get away with, how much you got paid, but we were family. There were only there weren't that many of us that were doing it, but we were close. Saturdays, the spring for lunch, and get stuff from the deli. Yeah, there wasn't very much that you could look forward to as far as to like company promotions and whatnot, but everybody put in. Everybody did their piece. Everybody dusted the products. Everybody checked for expired merchandise. Everybody vacuumed the floors or washed the windows. Everybody did a little piece. And then it's, over the years, become, how much can we squeeze out of every corner in order to maximize the best possible? And it hurts to see that. And even though, folks are going to be thinking I'm kind of pulling a downer here, there is the up on this one. That isn't happening everywhere. There are still groups out there, there are still companies out there, there are still individuals out there who are still running businesses where it's, what is it that you're looking for? We'll help you. And they give you a little bit of extra, a little extra personal time. A little bit of, you know what? I don't know. Let me find out for you. And they're the little guys. I like that. I like that that's still a thing. I don't want to go to a Mac mall all the time. I'd like to be able to go to a little shop if possible sometimes. Not that I'm going anywhere. I've been voluntarily locked down since mid-March. So, screw y'all.
Yeah, same here. I've been out of the house once, and that was in March, to make one last shopping trip to grab all the food that I thought that we would need. Like dry cereal, bags of it, and rice. Well, you could still get it. Haven't been out since.
You're killing me, because I want to go back up to the Asian market and buy the big bag of rice again. How was it? 25 kilo?
Yeah.
I think it's like a 25 kilo bag of rice. And
Yeah,
before anybody gets on me, it's because my mother-in-law, that's what she would get. She would get a 25-pound bag, and she would bring it back an hour drive from the Buffalo area out to where they lived, out in the frickin' sticks, where there are more cows than people, no lie. And she would put it into a trash bag, into a metal trash can in the kitchen, so that she could just wrap everything back over, cover it up, done. And it would last a long time with, oh shit, how many kids was it? How many were in the house? 7? I think it was 7 overall. So, and Mom was from Japan. Literally from Japan, so,
I got a 25-pound bag of rice from the international market, and got basmati rice out the wazoo. I mean, just... I'm good. And got a whole bunch of noodles, too. Stir-fried noodles. I got like a couple of cases of them.
okay.
Yeah, I did that back in March.
Okay.
Because I was thinking ahead, because I was like, yeah, they're about to lock us down any minute. So
Yeah.
on the way home for my last day at work, I stopped and grabbed a whole bunch of stuff. And haven't been out since. That was like March 20th.
Dalan, one of the first times that we got back out of the house after the lockdowns had started, so late March, we're going through the store and we're looking at the very, very, very empty shelves overall of stuff, and looking at the pasta section. What's left are the really expensive items, because for whatever reason some of these companies think they can charge, double the price of everything else. But the stuff that was even of the super cheap, that was still on the shelf at the time, that we kind of laughed a little bit about, lasagna noodles.
Oh, Angel Hair was mine. I stuck on the angel hair.
No. You're missing that lasagna noodles were still on the shelf, like nobody had touched them. And
Lasagna's too much work. What are you talking about?
lasagna noodles. If you want to do lasagna, you
Uh-huh.
need you need the noodles.
Yes.
You need tomato sauce, maybe meat. I personally like to have ground beef along with it. You need ricotta. You need managat. And then you need several times to level through all of that, which means that it's a lot of effort and a lot of work
Yep.
for a lot of food that you're just going to snack on at 3 in the morning, and that's really a bad idea. We're not talking about me anymore. Not gonna,
Expensive to make too, though, with all the cheeses and everything.
Oh, it's so good, though.
It is good.
Oh, it's so good.
But that's why the lasagna noodles were left. And if you'll remember, at that time, you could not find meat in the stores. Or at least in my store, there was no meat. There was no ground beef. There was no chicken. There was no nothing. It was all gone.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on. And, you know, we'd gone to BJ's Wholesale, kind of like a Costco, like that. And at that point, there was also a situation of a meat, not being delivered yet. Seeker, I'm sorry, making you hungry. Sorry about that. But I don't know what this says about us. That I saw that there was like 1, 2, maybe 3 packages of chicken that was left in the cooler, and I looked at it and I thought about it, and I just said, you know what?
Take the
Nah.
last ones.
No, we'll leave. We're not in such shape that we can't get away without it. Let's leave it for somebody else that actually needs it more. So we just didn't. We worked with other stuff. It's when you think about it in the terms of buy, don't hoard. You start to think about what everybody else needs. I like being thoughtful sometimes. It's just me, I guess. Farmers markets. Yeah, Stephanie, farmers markets are, they're a little bit difficult at the moment. And being out here where I live, which is a very agricultural area, there are a lot of farms. There is a take your tractor to school day out here, okay? So for anybody that doesn't quite get it, farmers markets are kind of a big deal out around the area where I live, because a lot of stuff, but the congregating is the problem. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm really worried about that, even in an outdoors event, because little close. I know it's probably a little bit of paranoia, but at the same time, I don't know what's more important, being a little paranoid and being mocked for it, or the iron lung. I mean, personally speaking, I'd rather just go with the paranoia. Just me.
Well, if you have a mask on and you're, 6 feet away, it's actually safer than being inside at the grocery store, because the air will help disperse the, virus particles and things like that. So it's actually safer to be outside.
Mm. Yeah, we will see.
Well, it's true, and Dr. Fauci will back me up on that. He says the same thing.
Oh God.
He said he would actually be okay with outside dining as long as there's enough distance and things like that. But as far as going inside, there's no way in hell he would do that. And that's what he said yesterday. But, he said if he was 8 feet away and, he would be okay outside.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out. We're getting well. Actually, we just hit the top of the hour, so we gotta see about closing up everything at the moment. Personally, I don't really have very much of anything else to add to everything. I mean, I'd love to talk more about the nicer stuff. Oh, I'll drop one item over here. There is a documentary.
Documentary.
Yeah, take 3. A document. What the hell, face? This is.
Happens to me too.
There is a film that was recently released. Shut up. Called The Fandom. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Was just released yesterday, I believe it was. Anyway, it was about the furry fandom. And it was a rundown of the history of the furry fandom. And I know for a lot of folks, it's not really that interesting. But it was a great, well-researched, well-interviewed, well-edited piece of documentation of the history of the fandom, the furry fandom as we know it today. And it was beautiful. I loved it. I cried. Yes, I will admit it. I cried. A lot of other people who commented on it also said that they cried too for various reasons. But there is one piece about it that I really loved having seen people comment on. The concept of a fursona. The idea that people would be making a furry character that was supposed to be a representation of the best of self can be directly attributed. The very first one that is actually really acknowledged was done by an African American man. So anybody that wants to go ahead and just shit all over the furry fandom because they've got some kind of a thing up their ass about alt-right stuff and white power and all that stuff, yeah, guess what? The whole concept of it came down originally to a black dude. Suck on that for a while. Yeah, am I looking to piss off people? Yeah, just a little bit. I don't care. Which, by the way, Dr. Conway was in there, and oh my god, video of him 20 years ago plus. Oh my god, he was such a dorky little thin speck of a kid. Oh my god. It was adorable. Gotta have him on so we can talk about that. Anthrocon weekend is actually going on, so he is still doing the overview of the virtual con, including he was doing his not happy hour, his talk hour, story time. But since normally he's on stage at Anthrocon, he's not allowed to drink nearly as much as he would like to, because otherwise he has to be carried up to his room. But as he put it, I'm sitting at home on my own couch. I guess we'll see what happens. So we'll have to see about we'll have to see about having him back to kind of talk about all that. Dalan, what last item do you want to throw in here? Now that I've gone ahead and said I don't have very much of anything to talk about. Oh yeah, let me give you 5 minutes of this. Fuck me.
No, it's cool and interesting to hear about that. Also glad to see that Anthrocon is actually going on in some capacity.
Yeah, I feel bad that I didn't do anything for it because I mean,
I mean, really, we all had plans, and then
Tell me about it.
a certain virus popped up and kind of said, yeah, this year of yours, yeah, no, we're not doing that. What's that? You want it to have a life? Nope, sorry, can't do that. But yeah, I mean, hey, both our nations, we made it through another year so far. Yeah, I'd say, with all the stuff that's going on right now, keep doing what you're doing. Wanting to change the world is fine, but make sure before you take that leap that you yourself are okay. I guess is all I could really say. There's just, before you can take care of others, make sure you're able to take care of yourself. So that's all I got.
Yeah, it's true that, man. That's a hard thing to remember sometimes. But thank you, man. Brigid, what last item do you want to go ahead and piss people off with at this point? Not that yet.
I don't really have anything. I talk a whole lot, so yeah.
I don't know that you talk enough, personally, but then again, I'm also
more than Joseph did. Joseph didn't talk at all.
Well, I mean, there's a reason for that.
Okay.
I think he fell asleep. Which would not at all surprise me. I mean, it is, oh dark stupid over... Well, it starts at oh dark stupid over there, so...
So happy early Bastille Day.
Yes. Did you see the news articles about that people had set up a guillotine outside of Jeff Bezos' place?
I didn't.
Yeah.
And I think they cost exactly the amount that we paid, that we got in our stimulus checks, like $1,200.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that you could get. I'm pretty sure that you could get a little bit of a discount on that if you used honey.com. Just I don't know.
Actually, I wonder if they bought it off Amazon.
Oh, I don't think that's such a good idea. I'm not gonna.
Gonna look for it.
No.
Yeah,
No.
That's either a sign of incredible irony or blind stupidity. One of the two, but that's another story.
Yeah, shout out to the NSA people.
Yes. All you guys over there at Echelon, you're our people. Thank you very much. I've talked about it before. Nobody knows about Project Echelon anymore, I don't think. Oh, well.
I do.
Whatever. Anyway.
I know about it.
You know about it. Okay, fine. Joseph, by any stretch, do you happen to still be there or awake or not? Because I don't see you as... I'm getting the funny feeling that maybe he fell asleep.
Very possible.
Which is going to be funny as all hell, because he's gonna check in on the whole damn thing afterwards. He's gonna be like, "Oh my god, I fell asleep. I'm sorry." Oh well. Oh well, that's all right. You know what? That case, we'll just close it all together at this point. It doesn't really much matter. Anyway, everybody, thank you very much for being with us. We hope that you had yourself a good day, a safe holiday, of course, and we hope that it gave you something worthwhile to think about for tonight. Since Joseph appears to be probably MIA, on his behalf, everybody take care of yourselves, and don't come to France. We've got enough crazy people in France as it is. So I'm gonna go with that. And if he wants to correct me, he can come on and turn on his microphone and correct me right now. Go ahead and do it. Okay, so I'm good right there. That's exactly
And
what it's.
silly little French people.
We'll go with that. It's perfectly fine. Brigid, you know, thank you. I'm glad you're here. You take care of yourself, and yeah, you know what? You get your big opportunity right here because I'm pretty sure that you'd be more than happy to expand your invectives. You know what? Curse out whoever it is the hell you want at this point. I don't care.
Fuck Mike Pence. And if there's any truth to this whole bounty thing, you know, with Russia paying the Taliban money to kill our troops, then fuck them and fuck Trump for letting it happen.
People want to contact
And-
you.
And last thing I'm going to say about that is I am sick and tired of the military being used as props. And I'm sick and tired of them being used as fodder. I am not a prop and I am not a cannon fodder. So just, yeah. And if people want to contact me, they can send me a friend request on Facebook, Brigid Fitch. Find me a blog at brigidfitch2112.wordpress.com. And I guess I need to buy the internet domain fuck Mike Pence. I haven't bought it though, but I'm gonna check into it.
And then just have that redirect to a, I don't know, I guess a support Biden site or something.
PENSE?
CE.
See, fuck. Edit that one out, would you, for me? Thanks, I appreciate that.
Is it available?
No, but even better.
Even better, somebody has it.
FuckMikePence.com redirects to usa.gov/register-to-vote. I'm fine. I'm fine with this. I am fine with this.
That's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, fuckmikepence.com. Please use that any opportunity that you can. Oh, you know. Beautiful. Beautiful. What's the expression? I ain't even mad. I ain't even mad.
Whoever did that, genius.
You know, I am certain that we could very easily find out who it was, where the hell they came from. Doesn't matter. But, oh, that's gorgeous. Oh. About us and site notices. Learn more about the history mission of the USA.gov. So it's apparently USA.gov. Oh, okay. Without doing any kind of lookup information, I just suddenly thought about it. In order to get a .gov domain, you have to be an actual government entity.
Yeah.
Somebody bought fuckmikepence.com just so that they could redirect it for free to the sign up page at this .gov.
It's not. This isn't the first time I see something like this. I mean,
No, but oh wow, that's great.
I wonder if it's that same people behind the account on Twitter, the angry staffer.
Oh my god, there are so many of those types of accounts that
Those are hilarious.
The
I
ex-
love to follow those.
For anybody that wants to go looking through the follow list for HCTV's Twitter account, I did have it follow a couple of those. What the hell was it? Was it Alt NASA or
Yeah,
stuff like that?
All U.S. Forest Service and all. Yeah.
I followed a
Those
whole bunch of
were
those.
so good.
That was great. That was great. See, now you're making me wonder whatever happened to the Central Park snake. Shit. I'm gonna look that up after we get done over here because I gotta wonder about it. That's actually really great.
Oh, the sarcastic rover one is really good too. That one's hilarious.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Dalan. I know it's not the wine. I know a good portion of it right now is just me being tired, but I'm having a really good laugh right about now, and I hope you are too, man.
Yeah. Like I said, it's been honestly we're just over the halfway mark of this year, and honestly, I think this is the first time in a long time I've woken up every morning and went, okay, what's next? But yeah, it's been. May you live in interesting times. My God, are we living that statement or what?
Yeah, I'm like, what's next? Giant meteor?
You can't stop and go. You can't stop with, it's been. And I just hear in my head, Tasty, he's looking at me. It just, no, don't do this to me, man. Screw you. Screw you, brain.
Okay, I do this. I do this show. Why?
Because it's fun.
Are we still live?
Welcome back, Joseph.
There it is. You ask the question, Dalan, you get a fucking answer right there.
I fell asleep. Sorry, guys.
That's what
Shujin
Called it.
Called it.
I called it. Are you ready to say goodnight on your behalf, Joseph? But if you want to go ahead and say goodnight to everybody, go right ahead.
Good morning. Good night. Take care, all. Sweet dreams.
Okay.
Fuck it, I'm going back to bed.
Okay, you did great. Have a good week. Good morning. Oh, God. Dalan. What did I say? What did I say?
He fell asleep.
No. Why do
So
I
you
do
probably-
this? Because it's fun. Because you laugh. That's, see?
Yeah, I'd probably end up missing stuff like that if it wasn't here. So.
And hey, look at the bright side. You even got to hear Brigid snort. So, if you can isolate that so that we can have that as a sound effect, that'd be great.
Oh,
I appreciate that. You can
know,
auto
I have a
tune.
new,
No,
I
to
have a
be
new
fair,
ringtone.
I was doing some recording a few days ago, and of course, one of the things you got to do is you got to stay hydrated. Otherwise the throat kind of,
Yeah,
your recording comes out a little scratchy.
I'm sure I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm taking a break, take a sip of water, and about to get back into it, and blah 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 blah. All of a sudden, belch. I'm like, yeah, I'm keeping that one. So that literally was cut, paste, re-export.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah.
God, worth it.
Well, that kind
Yeah,
of
so-
explains why the wolf man was like that.
So, and for anybody who's wondering why is Shujin asking me about all of this, audio recording and stuff like that? That's because I'm the curator of the audio version of this show over at holycraptheblogcast.com. I also got my own consciousness stream type blog place over at inthewind.yo5.ca. And although I missed this week because I was dealing with some stuff, but yeah, there should be a new episode coming up on Monday at my new podcast, The Kick in the Cast, over at kickit.yo5.ca.
Thank you, man. It's going to be one of those nice for about the next 10 minutes or so before I finally fall asleep. Anyway, thank you for being with us, everybody. We hope that you did well for yourself. And for the folks over on the live chat, which was Stephanie and TP, thank you guys. Again, a safe week to you. You take care of yourselves. If you would like to be leaving a voicemail message, of course, you can always do that. Reasons, it's 859-8CTV 554, 859-4288-554, because there is also a sister show that I got started with for Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time called Holy Crap, the Phonecast on this very same YouTube channel. I don't know if it's going to keep that name, but we'll see. I have to kind of check in with the Sam and Rebecca, because I gave Becca the information for the script, and then she was just like, yeah, you're gonna have to check in with me in a couple of days, because we're out in the woods right now. It's kind of busy, and we don't have very much in the line of data. So because I forgot field day for ham radio guys, I forgot about that. So I'm gonna check back in and make sure that the name, the title is all good, because otherwise I gotta kind of come up with a new thing a little bit, but be that as it may. You'll take care of yourselves. Seriously. I know we had a lot of joking and whatnot, but you know, with everything that's been going on, with the unrest, with the medical stuff, please be careful, please be safe. For those of you that are going to take the time out to go out on the water, okay, you know, yeah, you want to get out, fine. I'll say it every damned show during the summer months. If you're going to be out on the water, do not be drinking alcohol. You fall down drunk on dry land, you bump your head. You fall down drunk into the water, you might not ever come out. Don't do that. We want you back. So in the meantime, I guess now is about as good a time as any. So until the next time we get together, everyone, I wish you the peace I no longer have. I wish you the strength that I've learned. I wish you well. Happy Canada Day. Happy Friendship Festival. Happy Independence Day. And have a good week. And for my lady, of course, as always, 15 years on, I am still in love. Wow. Matane Fujin, I love you, I miss you, dream of me. Until the next time we get together, everyone, as always, good night.